3.
Welcome to the PaleoDiet.Zone/Raw Power Superfood Mix kitchen. Today we're going to talk about some really interesting things. We're going to actually show you how to make bites, bars, muffins, cookies, all kinds of different things using Raw Power Superfood Mix and P4. And I've got today my good friend Adita Lang, internationally acclaimed fitness and nutrition guru. And we're in the kitchen, and she's going to help us make some bites and bars and muffins and whatever else we decide to make. Actually, we're going to make bites, we're going to make some bars, and we're going to make some brownies. Because we're going to use the chocolate brownie Raw Power Superfood Mix today. Now, Raw Power Superfood Mix, if you're on the site, you probably know something about it. It's a blend of over 30 whole superfood ingredients put together in a way that'll give you a high protein, high fiber, high essential fatty acid, gluten-free, and low glycemic meal that tastes great. And now P4, this is our newest product line. P4 stands for Paleo Pumpkin Protein Perfected. Of course, paleo refers to the paleo diet, which has gotten very popular as of late. And just so you know, Raw Power Superfood Mix is also paleo. Now, ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Can I give this to my kids when they get home from school?
Oh my God, kids love this. The only problem with kids,
what?
Well, no, there are a lot of problems with kids. But the main problem with kids when it comes to superfood is a lot of times it's not good to tell them that it's good for them.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
You know, it's kind of a little reverse psychology.
Well, it's a treat.
If you tell, it's a treat.
It's a treat.
It's a treat, and it's kind of healthy.
Okay.
You know,
I can do
but
that.
if you tell them this is really good for you, then kids are. We've had so many kids. They're at demos and they're tasting and they're loving it, and then the mom says, "Oh yeah, that's really good for you," and then they're like this, you know, they put it away.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't go overboard with it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, there are other recipes that you'll find on the site, as well as on the bag and on the card that goes with it. And there are literally a few dozen ways you can vary this recipe. So this is just a starting point, and one that we found that works very well. So to keep it paleo, we're just going to add some banana and some carrot, and that's pretty much it. We might add a little touch of water if we need it. So we're going to use 2 cups of mix, and along with 2 cups of mix, we're going to use 2 carrots. We're just going to shred them up. You can shred them, or in this case, we're just going to put them in the food processor. Along with, again, 2 bananas. So a banana and a carrot for each cup of mix. Now, sometimes, if you're dealing with a really big banana or really big carrots, you might use a half. But you'll be able to modify that as you see fit based upon how yours comes out.
I think, too, that if you want it sweeter, you use more bananas, right?
You can sweeten it up with bananas,
so you
yes.
sweeten it up with bananas,
yes.
But if you don't want it as sweet, you don't have to use as many bananas.
Exactly.
That's a good recipe.
Exactly. Right, so you adjust it to your taste.
Okay.
So again, we did 2 bananas and 2 carrots, so we're going to use 2 cups of Raw Power Superfood Mix. And of course, we're using the chocolate brownie version, so that these come out as like brownies.
Okay, so if we wanted to do other flavors, like you got the peanut butter and the natural, we could then change it up and make a different flavor brownie. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And just so you know, this is a very forgiving process, and that's not the way you're supposed to do it. I wasn't supposed to put the superfood in there, so we might have to redo this. But let's see how it works out with the superfood in the food processor. So usually what we'll do is we'll take and grind up the carrots and the banana, and now I need a little bit of water.
We can do that.
So we'll pause and get some,
There you go.
Yeah, it didn't like it that way.
And then you can pour out whatever you need.
But the fun thing is that whenever you try different ways like this, you always find out new ways to do it, and they all seem to work so far. And this would be a good way to do it. Let's say some people don't like as many chunks in there. I need a little bit more, please. Don't like as many chunks in there. Thank God for editing, huh?
still put protein in there, yeah?
And now we're going to add a little extra protein as well. So let's add a...
Now, Bob, what's the difference between using the P3 and the P4 protein?
Great question. So the P3 is paleo pumpkin protein, and the P4 is paleo pumpkin protein perfected. So they both start with pumpkin seed protein as the base. It's an excellent quality plant-based protein with some other bells and whistles and benefits to it as well from the pumpkin seeds. Some fiber and some essential fatty acids. But with P4, we've added in a dozen different nutrients that occur naturally with animal proteins but do not occur in the plant kingdom. So many people that are going towards a plant-based diet, which is healthy for a lot of different reasons, particularly for the environment, by adding those back, you're going to get all the nutritional value of what someone might get if they're eating meat.
Got it.
It will be pretty chocolatey. Okay, so it looks like it's going to work out this way okay, even though I screwed up on on the sequence there. But we'll do it the other way too. So you just take this mixture right here and scoop it out. And you can obviously use different size scoops depending on what you want to do. The smaller scoop like this will cook faster. Now, the other interesting thing with this is that it doesn't have to be cooked. You can dehydrate it. Some people don't even do that. Some people just simply take it, scoop the balls out, and then stick it in the refrigerator or freezer for a while, and it'll firm up because of the fiber that's in here. So there's lots of ways to do it. So we'll take a break and I'll finish doing this off camera. But right now, I'm going to also show you the way to do it with a, oh, you have like a spatula or something like that? The same basic thing, yes. Nah, well, more like a, one of those, yeah. I think they're both called spatulas, no? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the same exact thing you can make into bars. How do you make bars? Well, there's some interesting pans out there like the Slice Solutions pan that you can use and have them already pre-cut, and it's great for brownies as well. But otherwise, all you have to do is scoop it out on your cookie sheet. And notice that we're using parchment paper, so it makes it the cleanup very easy, and you're not adding any extra oils or anything. So for that, all you're going to do is take it and smooth it out to whatever thickness you desire. Usually, we recommend about 1/2 inch or so. Works good. And then shape it. And then once you bake it or dehydrate that, all you'll do is chop it up into bars. Yep. Now, we're going to do the same thing in a different container to make it as a brownie. And of course, we're going to make these and then we'll come back and show you how they all come out. Okay. So same idea there. Now a brownie, you're going to tend to make it a little bit thicker than you'll make your protein bars. There you go. Okay, in just a minute we're going to put these in the oven, so let's go ahead and cut. Because we'll finish scooping these out instead of doing it all in the thing. That's fine. And you can go ahead and smooth that one. Okay, we finished scooping these out and smoothed out the brownie. So that's going to be the brownies.
That looks pretty yummy. Which
is not going to be a whole lot different than the protein bars that we made. We'll try to keep the protein bars a little bit thinner than the brownies. And then these are what the little balls look like, the scoops when you make those. What's nice, they're all nice for different reasons. One, if you like a bar type texture, wonderful, make them as that. If you like more of a brownie, a little thicker, and literally these stay nice and moist, unlike other protein bars out there. Then the bites are kind of neat because you can take those, and when you have them ready, you can kind of easily portion out how much you're going to have, and then stick them in a bag you take you with it. Take them on the road with you to work or whatever, or to the gym, and have a nice whole food, high protein, high fiber, high essential fatty acid, gluten-free, paleo.
Isn't there a little bit of a nutritional difference between cooking them and then leaving them raw in the sense of either freezing them or sticking them in the dehydrator?
Absolutely, great question. So our name is Raw Power because raw foods are the way we evolved. We and every organism on the planet evolved on raw food, so it has its highest nutritional value, let's say, in most categories when it's still raw. So what we often recommend doing is taking them and dehydrating them. It works really well. So in a dehydrator, you would leave those for about 2 hours, about 118 degrees,
okay,
and they come out perfectly. Sometimes with a bar, you have to go a little bit longer because they don't have as much surface area. When you bake these, we bake them at about 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. So even that, the core temperature of the food doesn't get up to a point where it destroys all the enzymes, just the outer surface.
Okay.
So you still have most of those enzymes intact, and of course, you know, super nutritious.
Now, how about dipping them in shredded coconut?
There's a million variations, and that's a great one. Of course, now for years they're telling us that coconut was bad for us. Now we know that coconut's great for us. So shredded coconut. Now, there's already shredded coconut in the mix.
Yes. I just need to make them look pretty so my kids think that they're even more of a treat.
Yes. So yes, wonderful with some shredded. You have some shredded coconut?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, we're going to put some shredded coconut on some of these. Break. All right, so we'll put some on these.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Whisper, John. Okay. Are you rolling? Yes. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So we sprinkle some coconut right on these. Again, there's all kinds of variations. Virtually, you can use any fruit you want in there, and there are several other vegetables that work in addition to or besides carrots. Zucchini, yellow squash, things like that will work really good in it as well. Okay.
I have one more question. What about dates?
Dates are fine. Yeah, you can use.
That would make it a little bit sweeter too.
You can use dates. You can use figs. Literally any fruit or any dried fruit you can add to it, because the superfood mix already has organic raisins, cranberries, pineapple, and papaya, as well as coconut and almonds. So it's got a lot of whole foods. But yes, you can add additional nuts to it, or you can add additional fruits to it.
Okay. Awesome.
Very forgiving. You can add up to about 30 to 40% additional volume, and it still works fine. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're going to pop these in the oven, and then we'll come back when they're done. Okay. Okay, see you in a bit.